Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Good. Good. Good.
It's good to see y'all. I think I'll give maybe 1 or 2 more minutes just in case a few more people jump in. All right, we will use the chat a little bit in this presentation. So be prepared to give a little energy because I will. All right, let's see. Joel, so I have to 12.
The timer is 30 minutes still. The
Okay,
yeah.
okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it. Learning skills to navigate this virtual education and staying motivated. This can be really hard to do, even for the most like hardcore focused individual, because we're all in front of a screen. We're missing the energy of being in person with people. All right, so the first thing I want you to drop in the chat. What are some of the biggest problems that you have encountered? What's the number one problem you've encountered with virtual education? Everything being online now. Drop it in the chat. Getting off task. No drive to do my work. Okay. I hear you. Paying attention. Roadblocks on actually genuine teaching. Ooh, harder to stay awake. Hard to view my room as a classroom. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Roadblocks on actually genuine teaching. That's a good point. If a teacher's not that good in person, imagine online. Whoo, that's rough. Organization, getting behind in one class. Okay. All right, I have some tips today that's going to kind of help us. All right. So you may want to take a few notes. I have a lot of practical things going on that I'm going to mention. Okay. Not walking away from the laptop. Yeah, it's interesting. Not motivated to turn work in on time management. Yep. I understand that one. All right. So I'm going to jump in because at the end, I definitely want a lot of engagement from you all. Any specific things you have, and see if I can help you kind of work through them. All right, this is a little bit about me. I'm the founder of Kaizen Careers Coaching and Consulting. I use the Enneagram to help individuals and organizations kind of turn their cultures into actually really healthy ones. I also work at Memphis College Prep Elementary School as an admin. This is a picture of some of the boys I mentor. They have a big part of my heart, and they also get on my nerves a whole lot. So they do the both. And they also spend a lot of my money. Do it for the gram, the podcast. This is a podcast that I do where I actually talk about the Enneagram and I do some really deep work on it. It'll be super awesome if you check it out and listen to it. And someone said, love the Enneagram. So if you know what the Enneagram is, this symbol over here, put it in the chat if you know what the Enneagram is. Oh, you're a 7. Okay, then. All right. Okay. Everybody else is like, I don't know what he's talking about. That's okay. Everybody's like, I don't know what he's talking about. What is that weird symbol? It's okay. It is a deep personality awareness tool. It tells why you do what you do, why you feel the way you feel, and why you act the way you do. It's really deep and rich. You should get into it if you're not. All right, moving on. I'm an 8. Okay, then. All right. That's strong energy. I see you. Okay, so we're going to talk about overcoming some virtual hurdles. So one of the first things, these are some biggest problems, and all of you alluded to. It's like this lack of motivation to just do it. It's like, but why though? I'm sitting in my house, in my bedroom. There's no energy. Oh yeah, I see you, Blake. You're next. You're next. It is a lack of motivation, most definitely. It's something missing there, and literally, it's the energy from people. When you're in a classroom full of kids and adults and youth, it is different. The energy you feel from people is just very different. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it still gives you energy. All right, then procrastination. This is hard to do. Like procrastination, this is one of those things that a lot of people struggle with, especially when you're not, like I said, like in person. It's like it's easier for people to hold you accountable and for things to be due and worry about your image in person. So, but when you're not, it's like, I ain't worried about all that. All right, the next thing is the burnout. Now, this right here is so real. You're just tired. You're just tired of looking at a screen all day, this flat piece of digital stuff, seeing people move around and do all these different things. So, today I'm going to hit on how we can actually kind of overcome some of these problems that we have. All right. So, the first thing, we want to set our environment. I know someone mentioned earlier, it's hard to see your bedroom as a classroom, which is true. That is very true. All right. So the one thing we want to do, environment is going to be more important than your willpower. A lot of times we try to overpower everything with our own will and like we're determined and all these type of things. But really, an environment actually determines how well we're actually going to do overall in a long term and long going on. So for instance, a rose can like very few roses grow out of concrete because it doesn't have the environment it needs to actually grow and do really really well. So you don't see a whole lot of roses growing out of concrete. You barely see one or two if you're lucky. So here's the thing, you want to set up your environment in a way that's conducive to you being very productive. So the first thing is that you want to do is you want to Goldilocks it. And what in the world does he mean by Goldilocks it? So when you Goldilocks it, if you remember like the little story, she goes in the bear's house and she's like she's eating their food, she's like on their beds. And so the thing is, she's like, this bed too hard. Then the next she's like, this bed too soft. But then she's like, oh, this one's perfect. It's right there in the middle. So what you want your area that you're working in to not be too comfortable, but not be too stiff either. Neither one is going to be good. So you need to dedicate a specific space to your work as well, because that's going to change everything. It's like, okay, this is my workspace where I only do work compared to like, I work on my bed, I work in this random chair, I work on the floor sometimes. Like when you do that, your mind is like, it doesn't know like, am I supposed to be sleeping here or am I supposed to be working here? So it's going in between. So Goldilocks it. Find a way that you have it's enough comfort, but it's also not too stiff, and also it's dedicated to the work you're going to do. All right, the next thing, let there be light. So brighten up the place by allowing natural light in where possible and turning on lights. So as cool as it is to like when you wake up super early, you're super tired, and for it to be kind of dim a little bit, no, we got to turn them lights on. If you're actually going to set the environment so you can be like really productive, you need light. And one of the things is you may want to invest in a light that is kind of on natural blue light, not blue, but like a natural outdoorsy blue type of light because it's going to provide you with energy. Sometimes them yellow light bulbs that we mostly have in our houses aren't doing it for us, to be honest. It's kind of warm and it'll kind of just kind of lull us to sleep or make us a little bit more tired. So you might want to look at that as well. The next thing is design it. So wherever you felt the most productive in your life, so if it's a coffee shop, it's the library, like all these different places, try to design where you are doing your work at in that type of way. Think about it. Create it. Be very creative, much as you can, much as possible, and make it look like you want it to look so that you can be productive. And making sure it's like kind of clean for your brain is really helpful as well. All right. The next thing. So in this one, we're talking about motivation, and motivation is interesting because motivation is fleeting. We all know that. Like motivation is here sometimes, it's there sometimes, but where is it when we always need it? And it's not always there. So to kind of like combat that, the thing you want to do is create a routine. The thing we want about routine is because if we have routine, we have what's called discipline. We have discipline, it can overcome motivation because in motivation we're waiting for something to happen to get that spark to go, and it's not always going to be there. Let's be honest, that motivation is not always there, especially not extremely being stuck in your house looking at a screen all day. So what we want to do, first thing I really want you to do is find a way to create yourself a morning routine that engages your body, your mind, and your heart. This is going to actually wake you up and make sure you get that drive you need to do the things you want to do to accomplish the things in the future that you want. So in the morning time, it should be something that helps you to move your body because I'm not a lot of times you may be tired. You just wake up like, oh my goodness, let me turn my computer on. I gotta get to class. Yeah, I understand that, but creating a morning routine will actually create the successful habits you need and actually to make it and do the things you really want to do. Okay. And so if that's dancing, you know what I'm saying? If that's meditation, if that's looking at something that brings your heart into contact with you, where it's like, ooh, I love these people. This is why I'm working so hard. You got to do all these type of things. These are just some things that you can do, but creating a cool morning routine. And I'll tell you some things that I do later on. All right, write it and post it. Here's a big deal. Some of us have goals, but we have them in our head. they're not going to be that good when we actually need a little motivation if they're just swimming around in our head. Because guess what else is in your head? Everything else. And so that's swimming around with what your teacher's telling you, with what you're trying to do with the homework. So you need to write it out, your school goals, your life goals. You need to post it somewhere that you can see it. Okay, 20 minutes left. Cool. You need to post it somewhere that you can actually see it in your bedroom or in your life or in your restroom or on your mirror or somewhere where you can actually see what you're actually trying to accomplish, because we can get lost. Our minds can start to like kind of drift away and feel a little weird when we get really tired. But when we have those things posted, we can be like, okay, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Even though I don't like and enjoy what I'm doing, I don't like and enjoy this class, I do want this grade because I'm actually trying to get to this next step. All right, here's the next thing. Create a motivation board. So a motivation board is basically, instead of using words like goals, it is pictures. It is, some people may call it a vision board. I call it motivation board because this one includes words as well, but it's to help motivate you. It's to make the important things like visual for you. So for instance, I have one and I created with Canva. If you don't know what Canva is, it is one of the most amazing free. I have the premium account, but it's one of the most amazing like sites that you can go to actually create different things that you want. Basically, you can buy them and you can print them off. It's really cool. So what I did, I gathered pictures. I gathered pictures of, like you saw, the kids I mentor. I gathered pictures of like the future home and things I want. I gathered pictures of the different work I want to do in diversity, equity, and inclusion in the communities. And I also put debt free because I am not debt free. But those things are on there because there's a motivation for me to visually see. It does something to our bodies and our minds when we can see it, okay, and not just roaming around in our minds. All right, so this is going to be a big deal too. All right, the next thing we're going to attack is talking about procrastination. How do you manage it? Because procrastination is this weird thing. It's this weird thing at times, right? So the first thing you want to do when it comes to procrastination, you want to figure out, why do you procrastinate? Okay, there's different reasons people procrastinate. Everyone doesn't procrastinate the same way for the same reasons. So some people procrastinate because, hey, like, I just want everything to be perfect. So I'm not sure. I just keep procrastinating. That's not me, to be honest. But some people just don't want to do it. And that can be me. I fall more in that category when I procrastinate. Okay. And then the other one could be a lack of energy. So maybe you're not actually getting in the nutrients that you need to actually to do the work that you're trying to do. So we have to make sure we look at our diet and what we put in our bodies as well. Okay. So why do you procrastinate? Go a little bit deeper there, and you're going to find some answers that may be able to help you to kind of get out of that rhythm. All right. And here's the next thing. This is a really thing that I do, and I love to do it. So I time the work I do. It makes it so much easier. And when I say that, put on a timer and do some work that you need to do. Say you need to get ready for a project, but you like that project in like due in a week or two, and you're like, yeah, I get to it in a week or two. No, what you can do small increments and just put a time on it. Just put a time limit on it. You can say, I'm gonna do this for 10 minutes, and then just go full blast, full focus for that 10 minutes, and then let it go. Now, I would say don't do more than 45 minutes if you want to go that long without taking a short break, because statistically our brains do not really do well after 45 minutes straight of focusing on anything, right? We need a break in between it so we can kind of reset our minds, our bodies, and everything. So that is one thing, timing. And then to create healthy habits so you get used to timing yourself when you're doing work that like you usually would procrastinate on, reward yourself. So you want to create a healthy habit. Some of the things that like some of the greatest sales coaches do is they do, like, once they do a sale, they'll do a dance, or they'll hit a big old gong, or they'll like ring a bell. There's always something there to remind you to be like, okay, that's what I did. Good, good. I don't have to like stay in this mode of procrastinating. Instead of just, you get a little bit done by time, and then near the end, you're like, good. You've tackled most of it, and you're not like stressed out and like, oh my goodness, I got to do this. Let me stay up all night trying to figure this out. You don't have to do that if you kind of follow these small steps here. All right. And here is preventing burnout. All right. Let's prevent some burnout here.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
because
You
I
really happy.
can everybody mute? Uh, getting a little feedback. Can everybody mute? All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So preventing burnout. So the one thing you want to do when you're preventing burnout, first thing, you got to take breaks. here's the thing. Some people, they just like to try to work through everything. You're just going to power through it all. Yeah, that sounds great in some world, but that's not the way our bodies work. You need to actually put breaks in for yourself. Because think about it. When you were actually in physically in school, you had like, you would go in between classes, you go to the hallways, you go to the lockers, you talk to somebody, you laugh at something. You had this exchange, even going to a different classroom, just a different field, so it was totally different in the way that you actually engage that way. So this is very important that we actually have to do it for ourselves. So now that we don't have the hallways right now, you got to make your own hallways at home. So you got to find a way to take breaks. And like you may need to put it in your phone if you're a person who kind of forgets. But then you also, in these breaks, you need to do something that like moves your body. Okay. You need to do something that like listen to music, take a break, go outside, get some nature in you, something like that. And even sometimes spending time away from tech. Because think about it, even your phone, even though we're stuck on this computer, sometimes we need to just disconnect totally just for a few minutes before you have to hop back into your next class. And so going along with that, move your body. We do not move enough, especially now. I don't know, like when you get to college, they say the freshman 15, there's a pandemic 15. I promise you, I gained it. I swear, because I just be eating, sitting, and watching Zoom. So we got to make sure we move our bodies, not necessarily always just working out or anything, but we've got to get up, stretch, do something like move your knees, dance, do something. But you've got to make sure you still move your body because we have this energy that's being pent up as we watch this screen over and over again. So make sure you always are doing something to move and engage your body. Next thing, prepare for your day. This is huge. When you prepare for your day, instead of waking up like, oh my goodness, I gotta go, like jumping out the bed like a ninja, like, oh, I gotta start, gotta get on my class. Instead of doing that, we can actually prepare for our day. So when we prepare for our day, actually make sure you have water ready and also make sure you have healthy snacks on deck. And the reason is we eat a lot of food and different things, and sometimes it's junk food and it tastes real good, but it's not giving us back anything. That's the only thing. Like it tastes good, but it's not giving us what we need back. So we need food or different snacks and water that gives us energy back so that we can keep going and make it through the day and not kind of like drift off, especially at the end of the day. You'd be like, this is so boring, so we want to have some more energy just so we can make it through and push through near the end of the day. So make sure you prepare for your day. All right, and then focus on breathing. This is important. So in the business that I am in, which is using the Enneagram to help people, one thing we talk about, I teach on is integration, head, heart, and body. Okay, a lot of times our schools really only teach us to think with our heads, unfortunately, but heads, hearts, and body is something that we all need to have in contact. So here's the thing: when you're talking about burnout, what's happening a lot of times is your brain is stuck either in the future with all the stuff that that's coming up, that you feel like you have to do, along with all the other stresses that you already have in life, or you're stuck in the past on some experience or something that happened that's like making you frustrated. Here's the thing: and you focus on breathing, you can become closer to being in the present moment. You're not going to burn out if you're constantly being reminded and breathing that you're in the present moment. Your breath is not in the future or the past. Your breath is right now. You've never breathed in the future and you did breathe in the past, but you're not breathing currently in the past. So if you can follow your breath and focus on that, it is going to change the way that you feel, especially during burnout. Like you feel like you're getting there. You're going to have to become centered and grounded. Okay. So right now we're actually going to practice a really quick, short exercise with that. So everybody, if you are sitting down, because I know some people may be laying down, but if you are sitting down, put your feet on the floor. And what I want you to do, I want you to kind of sit up and put your hands, if you can put them on your knees or your thighs area, and either close your eyes if you're okay with it, or soften your gaze where like things aren't as like focused. And what I want you to do is take a deep breath in through your nose. And when you breathe out, I want you to think about breathing down though. Okay. I'm going to say in and down. Okay. So you breathe in and breathe down into your body. Okay. And so what I want you to do, keep breathing a little bit deeper breaths, nothing too deep. I want you to check in with your body. We're going to go inside. Check in with your feet. Okay. Is it tense? Is it tight? Is something going on that doesn't feel right? I need you to relax. Work on just relaxing that area. Okay. Breathe into those areas of your body. And next, then I want you to breathe into your lower legs. What's going on there? Your calf muscles, your quads. What's going on in your lower legs? What's happening? What I want you to do is really pay attention to what's happening inside of your body. Okay. We're going to be coming present in this present moment. There's nothing else. We're grateful for this moment here. We don't have to worry about the past or the future, but right now we're in a beautiful place because we're here together. Then I want you to keep breathing. I want you to breathe into your gut, to your air. Is there any anxiety? Is there any fear? Is there any tension, any tightness? I want you to breathe into that. And I want you to start to work on relaxing that. Just relax that and keep breathing. And then I want you to breathe kind of in your chest. Is there any tension in your chest? Like, is there any tension around your heart area? Is there anything that you need to let go of and just be in this moment and be free right now? We're going to just breathe into that. And then I check in with your shoulders. Sometimes our shoulders hold a lot of tension and we don't know it. Relax your shoulders, kind of feel them just kind of fall. Just kind of fall by your side, just a little bit. Okay. And keep breathing. Then I also want you to breathe into your neck. Okay. The neck, your throat area. Sometimes we have a lot we want to say and we hold it in, we bottle it in. And it a lot of times traps tension in our throats and our necks. And so what I want you to do is just relax that. Relax that. Right now, we are present in this moment with each other. And then I want you to also check in with your head. Okay. It's a lot going on, but right now we just focus on breathing. Don't worry about where your mind is going. Just bring it back to focus on breathing. Okay. That's it. When your breath goes in, follow it. When your breath goes out, follow it. There's this beautiful space that we get to where your breath changes in your body, where it goes from being an exhale to an inhale and from an inhale to an exhale. See, can you find that spot? Find that spot where it is literally switching the way that you breathe. It is a beautiful place within us.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And I want you to take two more deeper breaths. All right. And then the last breath I want you to take is a real forceful one. Okay. I want you to fill your belly up and then breathe out. Fill your belly up real big and then breathe out. Okay. All right. So here's the thing, and come back and slowly come back. Here's the thing. When we have anxiety, fear, anything's going on in our body is saying something to us and it's doing something. If we don't realize what's going on, we could be in trouble and we can just respond and react in ways that we're like, oh, I didn't mean to even say that or do that. Right. So what I want you to do in those moments you feel burnout, just what we just did, follow your breath and breathing can actually bring you to the present moment. And this takes practice. This is not one of those things was like, I tried breathing. The kids I work with, they was like, I breathed 10 times. It didn't work. I was like, yeah, it takes practice. Keep going. You still stuck on it. Just keep going. Come back to the present moment. It shifts so many different things. I cannot even tell you how much. All right. So I have a few more things and then we'll be ready. All right, here we go. From my heart to yours. And I say this again because like this is very important to anyone and everyone, right? If you want to actually be better or stop some of the patterns that you've had that have been like not helpful or not beneficial for you in your own life, you're going to need to take a breath. You're going to need to follow your breathing and actually slow down because it's interesting. Like we get so excited into life that we even forget that we're breathing. Like it just luckily is like autonomic. It's just going on by itself. But come back to it and that'll bring you back to the present moment. So it's super important to actually focus on breathing. If you take nothing away from here today, which is a lot of good practical things, take away, let me check in with my breath real quick and inside of me what's going on. All right. And then the next thing is lean on each other. Is it did it get stuck? All right. Well, anyway, I don't know if y'all screen to see the same thing, but mine just says at each other. But anyway, it's supposed to be lean on each other. All right. So here's a big deal. Thank you. Thumbs up. Thank you. In these moments like this, especially this pandemic, we've got to be able to confide in people. Sometimes we are very scared and fearful because maybe we have maybe not confided in a person that's very trustworthy, or we're just scared or anything. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I really urge you to find people who you can trust and lean into to actually lean on them. Definitely. Like there's great people in bridge builders first and foremost, and they have a plethora of resources, right? And actually be able to lean into. But also, if you have friends, you have family who are trustworthy people, I really encourage you to lean on them in the times that we're in, but also be a person they can lean on as well. A lot of times, some of us love to lean on others, but don't like to have other people lean on us. So you want to do both because people need it. 3 minutes left. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, what is going on with this slide? Oh, let's try that again. And there you go. All right. And then the last one, find new ways to love yourself. And I say this from my heart to yours because, like, as I teach this, we have to constantly find new things and new ways to love ourselves. And so when we go inside and figure out the things that we do well and things that we maybe don't even do well, just finding ways to love ourselves more and more is extremely important. Those little idiosyncrasies that we all have that was like, oh, that's nice, So learning to love ourselves even more and value the things that you actually bring to the table. Sometimes we really devalue our importance. So make sure you value the wonderful things you actually bring to the table in whatever you do. All right. And oh, thank you. Shout out. I see you. Thank you. All right. Oh, hold on. All right. So here's the last slide I just wanted to share with you. And if you have a question or comments, please, this is the time for you to throw those in. And I thank you all for listening. I see some in the chat. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone comments, questions? Do you have a situation that you're like, I'm wondering about this? Definitely here to help. And please don't hesitate for you all to reach out to me. I went through the Bridge Builders program. I'm alumni, and I come back to Bridges all the time to like do Enneagram work and to speak because I'm honored. Thank you all for inviting me. Um, I love the work you all do, and if you reach out to me, I will reach back. Let me say that. So thank y'all all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.